What's going on, everybody? Today we've got a brand new tactic here for you guys. It is a 4-3-3 called my 4-3-3 Gojo. There are two different styles to it. There is a support version and a defend version based on one role within the tactic. So you'll technically be getting two tactics today from today's video. And if you wish to download these tactics, I'll be linking my Discord down below in the description. That is where you're going to be able to download them from the download section within the Discord. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video. So as you could all probably tell, we ended up testing with Napoli, but we also tested with a kind of mid-table predicted side and a relegation threatened side as well. That mid-table prediction side was Ipswich Town within the championship. I wanted to see if we could get them promoted like they did in reality. And then the relegation candidate side was Bournemouth, and they absolutely blew me away with how good this tactic is with a side like them. So we're going to start with Napoli. Now, this test is done with the defensive version. They ended up winning the league, which otherwise, outside of the league, they kind of had a very weird season, but winning the league, we're definitely going to take that. Then there's going to be three different results that I show you guys for Bournemouth in particular. Two with the defend version, and then one with the support version. The first one with defend, Bournemouth finished in 5th within the Prem, semi-final of the FA Cup, and quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, somehow going out to Luton. Then the next one, they finished in 9th, but they won the FA Cup, which is absolutely amazing. And then the support one is really where they showed out where they had their highest finish. They finished in 4th, so one spot higher. And then they also got to a quarterfinal of the FA Cup and won the Carabao Cup, so they were going to be in Europe no matter what. Now, those results were from the support version of this tactic, which is also where Ipswich Town got their success from within testing also. As we see here, they finished in 4th in the league on 94 points, but got promoted to the Prem through the playoffs, which ultimately that was my goal with Ipswich, was to just kind of get them promoted. Now, when it comes to player production wise, it's going to kind of vary from level to level, team to team. Because as we can see here with Ipswich on that promotion run, now some of the players were on loan, so they no longer have the loan players here to where I can show them. But Leif Davis had 22 assists. The wingbacks are going to be very, very good in creating opportunities for you, as are the wingers, because Connor Chaplin was on the right wing. He contributed with 14. But when it comes to a team like Bournemouth, they're going to have a little bit more production because they do have better players. For example, Mr. Dominic Solanke, he had 39 goals in the Prem. That is absolutely fantastic, not just in the Prem, but all competitions, as they were in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup as well. Chloe Verrett with 16, Alex Scott with 12, Sinistera with 11. Another thing about Sinistera, he was one of those wingers, and like I said, you will probably get quite a few assists from your wingers and your wingbacks, because we see he has 11 goals, but also 24 assists, which is absolutely amazing. When it comes to Napoli, their leading goal scorer was also the striker, Mr. Victor Osimhen with 33, but those wingers chipping in as well. Kvaratskhelia with 17, Raspadori with 11, but also one of the central midfielders chipping in with 13, and Mr. Piotr Zielinski, just like Alex Scott, he chipped in with 12 of them. And then their assist numbers are a little bit different because they have one of the wingers being one of the main assist guys, and you have a central midfielder as well as one of the wingbacks. But when it comes to how this tactic builds up and the roles that are within it and how they operate, we're going to take a look over on Tactical Board at how this all flows. So, within this 4-3-3, we've got an advanced forward up top, two inside forwards as those wingers, a box-box midfielder with a central midfielder. The central midfielder is on attack, so they're going to be going further forward. The ball-winning midfielder, this is the role that is the one that is either on defend or on support, and it definitely plays very differently when it is on one or the other. Then we also have two wing backs and two ball playing defenders with a sweeper keeper. Now, how is the width going to act with this tactic? Because you see that we have wingers, we also have wingbacks. These inside forwards are going to cut inside, but also they may choose to stay outside. You're going to see this in some of the highlights as well. You'll see players that are wingers either cutting in or staying wide, because when they choose to stay wide, it allows a box-to-box midfielder to come up or even a wingback to cut inside instead of them doing so. But a majority of the time, these inside forwards are going to act like wide strikers. They will be cutting into the box to play with your striker, who can move into channels and kind of operate wherever he sees fit. You'll then have the box-to-box midfielder as well. Very good role, very fun role to utilize as well. They'll be sitting outside the box majority of the time, but I allow them to move into channels as well, so they kind of do what they see fit. Then you have the central midfielder on attack. Once again, kind of will play a little bit like the box-box midfielder, but will also jump the gun, come in, which we can see the inside forward sag off here, or even out wide, allowing the wing back to cut in, because majority of the time it will look a little bit something like this on the right side and like this on the left side. However, like I've stated, all three of these positions can kind of like interchange if they see runs happening, and they can exploit them and kind of either create a goal scoring opportunity for themselves or a teammate from it. But then we have the role that is very different from the rest, because this is the role that is kind of having the tactic centered around it, with either a support or defend duty. That is the ball winning midfielder. How are they going to play? So on the support duty, they are definitely going to pinch up a little bit more, allowing for a little bit more space from our attack, and sometimes they will even rush into the box for a shot as well, or a playmaking opportunity. But in the defensive duty, they're definitely going to be sagging off, which almost will form like a back three. At times they might sag off a little bit to form that back three, or they might just play right here as well. But on the support duty, another thing that they will do is interchange with the box-box midfielder and the central midfielder on attack. So if they say run on this left side, these two will be switching, because the ball winner will be the one exploiting it instead of the box-to-box midfielder. And that box-to-box midfielder, with the defensive duties that it already has, and being that your box-to-box midfielder will most likely be a pretty smart player, they will know, okay, I need to cover this area that the ball winning midfielder was leaving exposed. However, on the defensive duty, this is going to be like a playmaking pivot almost. They're going to hold their position. They're not going to take a whole lot of risks. So if they need to cycle the ball back, a majority of the time that player that they're going to be cycling it to before they even think about giving it to your center backs, it will be the ball winning midfielder. So your defensive midfielder is going to kind of be that stopgap for your side to kind of retool the attack for you. But now that we've gone over that on tactical board, we're going to go over some highlights within the match to kind of break down the tactic as well. So we're going to be going over 3 matches in total, 2 within the 2D match engine for like an overhead view of how the tactic kind of builds up and operates, gives you a bird's eye view of what to expect from the tactic. And then the last one is going to be a 3D one where you kind of get to see the full power of this tactic within the match engine and see how a team like a Bournemouth, as that is the one that I'll be showcasing with it, really just dominates with this. So the first highlight that you're going to see is a match between Napoli and Fiorentina. They end up winning this match 4-0. This is with the defensive tactic as well, with that ball winning midfielder on the defender role. And as we can see from those highlights, tactic is absolutely fantastic, but there are 2 things that I really want to highlight on those highlights with Napoli. The first one being the first goal that they score. I want you to notice one thing here. Kvaratskhelia is the inside forward. Look at how deep they have dropped within the attack, because we're having Mr. Mario Rui move the ball up to Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia is then going to move the ball off to Anguissa, and he is still going to stay deeper than Anguissa, who is the box-box midfielder making the run up. He ends up having the assist on this, I believe. So we can see right there that interchangeability between those roles. They're not specifically set to do just what it says. They have the smarts to be able to kind of rotate and know, all right, I see them making this run, I need to make sure that I cover for them, vice versa. And then the next one that I kind of want to highlight is that ball-winning midfielder on defend, how they use it kind of as a pivot or as a safety pen for the side to kind of make sure that, okay, we might not see something right now, we're going to move it back to him and then see if he sees something, and then we go from there. That happened on the third goal. Stanislav Lobotka ends up seeing something that the rest of the team did not, and it leads to a goal. So Mr. Zielinski right here, number 20, is going to receive the ball from our winger, Mr. Raspadori. Zielinski does not see anything for him immediately, either goal scoring opportunity wise for him or playmaking wise within the box, either to Osman or even to get Anguissa to run onto. So he is going to move it to 68, Mr. Lobotka. And from this area, notice all the different positions that he can now see. He can see the left winger, the box-to-box, central midfielder, striker, as well as the right winger and right back. So even though they are a ball-winning midfielder on defend, they are still going to be able to be an eagle-eyed passer, which is exactly what he does, because he is going to move it off to Anguissa, who's then going to find someone else, and we score a goal from it. Now this next match is a match between Ipswich Town and Coventry. Ipswich Town will be on the support tactic. They did absolutely fantastic in this match against Coventry, and it helped them kind of solidify themselves to, yes, we're going to be in the playoffs for sure. Two players that I want you to kind of keep an eye on. It's going to be the box-to-box midfielder and the left winger. Luongo is the box-box midfielder. Sarmiento is the left winger. I'll highlight them real quick so you guys can kind of keep track of them in the 2D match engine. So Luongo is right here, number 25, and Mr. Sarmiento is number 21 right here on the left wing. These two are going to be absolutely integral in the win. Now, one thing that I absolutely love about that match and those highlights is the link-up play and the passing play between all of the players. It's absolutely magical watching, and it's like that in a majority of 4-3-3s, but this 4-3-3 it's got that special something about it. And that special something is about to be on display in the 3D match engine with Bournemouth and their match, once again, on the support version of the tactic. They end up beating West Ham 6-2, which is absolutely amazing. They looked phenomenal within it, especially Mr. Joseph Kluivert on that left wing. But go ahead and enjoy how great this tactic looks. Now, to be quite honest with this Bournemouth side, if you are managing Bournemouth, I 100% would give this tactic a go. Or if you're managing a side that kind of has players like Bournemouth, they're pretty young and pretty versatile as well. So this tactic really helped them take advantage of all that. I mean, clearly they won multiple cups and they finished in Champions League spots a boatload of times. But overall, from those highlights, the tactic looks absolutely fantastic in the 2D and 3D match engine, so definitely make sure to give this a go if you're wanting a tactic and play style kind of like this. But now we're going to go ahead and dive into the tactic on the FM side of things and go over the player instructions. Alright, now, so the tactic file that you're going to be looking for within the download section of the Discord is going to be called Gormy's 433 Gojo. There will be one that says support, as well as one that says defend, which that's actually the one that we're going to break down first here. We got an advanced forward on attack up front, 2 inside forwards on attack out wide, a box-box midfielder on support with a central midfielder on attack, ball-winning midfielder on defend, 2 wingbacks on support, 2 ball-playing defenders on defend, and a sweeper keeper on defend. Now the advanced forward on attack is left as is. The inside forwards on attack have crosses aimed at center and shoot more often. The box-box midfielder on support has crosses aimed at the far post, get further forward, move into channels, and tackle harder. The central midfielder on attack has crosses aimed at the far post, move into channels, and tackle harder. Ball-winning midfielder on defend was left as is. Those wingbacks on support have cross more often, crosses aimed at center, as well as tackle harder. Both ball-playing defenders on defend were left as is, and the sweep keeper on defend was also left unchanged. It is played with an attacking mentality. I would definitely suggest to keep on it because, as we saw with Ipswich, Napoli, and Bournemouth, they all did perfectly fine while being on it. When we're in possession of the ball, we have fairly narrow attacking width. We play out from the defense, and we're looking for those overlapping runs on the left and the right from any player that wishes to overlap, such as those wingbacks, central midfielders, or even those wingers. When we're in the final third, we use low crosses and work the ball into the box, shorter passing directness, and slightly higher tempo. When in transition, we counter press and counter, distribute to the fullbacks and the center backs. And once out of possession, we have a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, and more often trigger press intensity. Now, when it comes to the 4-3-3 Gojo on support, the only thing that changes is that ball-winning midfielder role. That is the only thing that changes, and we switch it to a ball-winning midfielder on support, which we do not add anything to. We also leave it as is, just like we did with the defend one. And all the instructions, mentality, all that stuff on everything else is also left the exact same. So, when it comes to what type of sides and levels you are able to use this tactic at and with, I think you can use it basically with anyone as we showcased it here today. You can use it with an elite level side. You can use it with a mid-table side or even a relegation threatened side and qualify for the Champions League with them apparently. And when it comes to those tweaks with the tactic, you don't really need it because there's 2 different versions. So you can have both of them, have the support version and the defend version, although there is one tweak that I would suggest making if you are using the defend version and you want to switch from that support version from earlier in a game, go to that defensive one to kind of hold a lead type thing. Then the one thing that I would change on that defend one when you switch to it is the central midfielder on attack. If you don't want to have 2 kind of aggressive midfielders, you can end up changing it from on attack to on support, but make sure that you are still leaving these instructions on it because you'll have the cross aimed at far post, moving to channels to tackle harder. It's just that the get further forward will then be taken off of it, so they'll play a little bit safer. But there we have it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you want to download these tactics, once again, I'll be leaving a link down below in the description to my Discord. That's where you're going to be able to download it from within the download section. But if you did happen to enjoy today's video, please feel free. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button. Right now on screen, I'll be popping up my most recent tactic, which was absolutely fantastic, and you should definitely give it a watch. But until next time, everyone, have a good one. Bye-bye.